Hi there, Joanne O'Leary here from Dollface Pottery. Excuse my nasal voice, but I'm still grappling with a cold. So, you know, that's the hazards of visiting grandchildren when they're sick, but you know, it's worth it. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is demonstrate two types of handles. I've just finished 4 hand-built mugs, and I'm going to be putting handles on them later. So I have to pull the handles now in order for them to stiffen up enough to place on the mugs. So I'm going to show you how to do 2 types. One is a slab built mug, or one is a slab built handle, and the other one is a pulled handle. I pull my handles 9 times out of 10. For a specialty teacup or something, I will make a slab handle, but most of the time I pull my handles because I'm used to it. It's easier for me. It allows me to pull a number of handles fairly quickly. So I'm just going to switch the view here to my hand building area and show you how to do the slab handles first. Now, as you can see, this is Diamond Core Tools handle extruder. I got these last year, and these are great for handles for platters or something like that. But you can see that this has 2 loops. So I'm just going to demonstrate a thick slab here, and I'm going to demonstrate by pulling down on the slab. So this guide here is the guide for the slab of clay, and then you pull down, make it fairly deep. So what I'll do is I'll pull down and pull down like this and pull across. You can see that the handle is forming. Now this is a fairly thin handle for my liking, and that's why I pull my own, because these come out fairly thin actually. But it's great for someone who is making a platter and wants a decorative handle, or they just can't get the pulling down. So that's how easy it is. You just slide it across the slab, and then what I do is I put the handle over a cardboard tube so that it forms into a circular form when it's setting up. So I'll use this one is different. There's not 2 bows in that. It's just a curved handle. I use that one, and I'll drag it down through the clay. You've got to go in fairly deep, fairly confident. Just drag down, pull off. What I find about slab built handles is that you need to fix them up a little bit when you pull down through the clay. It depends on the nature of the clay and how dry the clay is and things like that. So this handle is more of a traditional style handle with a little curve. Okay, so I'll put that over. So it's fairly easy. It's fairly quick actually to use the handle extruders. What I'll do now is I'll tear this down the middle, and I'll make an actual form so I can start pulling. So I'll show you how I pull my clay, and I'll come up here actually. So this, what I'm doing here is I'm just forming this particular amount of clay into a carrot shape. I'm going to roll it on my surface area. You roll the coil into a tapered end. So one end has a bigger end, and then the other end has a small tapered end, just like the shape of a carrot. So once you get that, So what I've done is so it's fairly long already, actually, so you can see. So I'll put the camera down so you don't need to look at me. And this is a warm bucket of water. You don't need it warm, but it's more pleasant, especially in Newfoundland. I live in Newfoundland and Labrador, which is the most easterly point of Canada. And, we're closer to England, probably, as the crow flies, than we are to British Columbia, which is in our own country. So what I'm doing here now, so as I'm demonstrating, I'm holding it by one end, and what I'm doing is, this is fairly wet. So I'm wetting it on both sides, using my thumb to guide down like this, turning it over with my left hand and doing the other side. So I'm using my thumb. This is fairly long, but I'm going to be pulling a number of handles, because I always pull about 4 or 5 extra handles, because by the time it's time to put them on the mugs, sometimes I prefer one over the other, the feel or the thickness. So I'm just continuously wet it and use your hands to narrow it out. Sometimes I do scissor fingers and flatten it out. And if something doesn't, sometimes it will crack like this. That means that the clay was weak, so just don't use it. Actually, I'm going to come down pretty far and take that off. So I hope you can see properly. What I'm doing is I'm just cupping my my index finger and my thumb, turning, wetting it down again, then using my thumb and put that middle indent in there. Using my thumb again, put that middle indent in there. So it's a slow process, but you can feel the clay. You know how big the clay feels as a handle. I tend to use more beefier handles because my mugs are hand built. So I don't use like delicate little handles because it just doesn't match my pots. My pots are fairly tall. They have texture on them. They have drawings on them. So I like a beefier handle. I know it's not going to fall off. So this is fairly long, so I'll just cut them into handles, cardboard form. So once I cut one off, then I have to fix this one up a little bit. So you just use your thumb and then your index finger and your thumb and do both sides, because it's important to do both sides, because then you have an even handle. So cut it off. I cut it off to about 7 inches. Then I have it to pull 4 handles. So I have 4. I'll make some more off camera, but I always make more than I need because you never know. My hands are filthy now, but anyway, that's part of being in clay. So, it's fairly easy. Once you get the hang of pulling handles, it's fairly easy. You just have to practice. Once you get it down, it took me about 3 times of practicing pulling handles before I got it down, but it really doesn't take that long. I mean, a lot of people are intimidated by handles, but it's easy peasy once you get to it. So thanks for watching, and I'll have more hand building demos on my channel. My YouTube channel is at Dollface Pottery. Instagram, follow me on Instagram as well, at Dollface Pottery, and Facebook, Dollface Pottery and Jewelry. So I hope you enjoyed this. These are the end results. And I'll trim these up, put them on the mug. I'll actually film that as well so that you can see the handles going on the mugs. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.